All right, I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at some more advanced kettlebell exercises. So we're going to do one more of these weekly videos, starting off here with a deadlift exercise called windmills. So right now the kettlebell is on my left, on the back of my left arm, and I'm reaching down my right arm with my, or down my right leg with my right arm. So you'll notice that when I'm going down, I'm looking up at the kettlebell and I'm keeping that elbow locked, and I'm trying to really keep the weight, the center of gravity right below that kettlebell so I can maintain my balance. And then when I'm doing this, I'm targeting the one side of my body, so the posterior chain on the right side of my body. And then when I switch to the other side, I'll be, targeting the other half of my body. So these kind of exercises are great for people who play a sport like squash, where you tend to hit a lot of shots off of one leg and you become kind of very dominant on, for me, my right arm, right leg. So I do really enjoy doing exercises in the gym which target, one side at a time. So it might even be useful to do more reps on your non-dominant side just so it can feel a bit more comfortable, and maybe start to gain that strength. And, I think that's something that's really important to make sure you can be, well-balanced athlete. You're going to be more balanced and you're going to be able to hit off of either leg. And that's going to make you a better squash player. And you're going to avoid those chronic injuries a lot more if you can, do these types of exercises off court. So here's into exercise number 2. And again, this one is one side training at a time. So it's called a split squat. And you'll notice the important parts here is that you need the back bench to be the right height. So if it's too low or if it's too high, then it's going to feel really awkward and uncomfortable when you do this. Generally, the benches in the gym are about the right height for me. It could even be just slightly higher. You could see actually in the left corner of the screen that red and black mat. Those things, I think they're meant for doing jumps on top of, but if you're a bit taller, using one of those to do your split squat on could be useful. And then make sure when you do this that your front foot that's down is far enough away that when you come up, your leg ends up being straight. So this is a very technical exercise. One you would want to practice without a weight. But if you are, training quite a bit and your legs are feeling pretty strong, then adding, a little kettlebell, even if you have 2 light kettlebells, you could hold them kind of in front of your chest as you do the split squats. But this is one of the, I think one of the best squash specific training exercises you can do. And looking at exercise number 3 coming up. So these first 3 are all unilateral training exercises where we're focusing on one side at a time. So this is something that, again, just like the first one, we're focusing on the posterior chain, so the glutes and the hamstrings. So I actually find it helps a little bit with my balance to use a kettlebell when I do this, because my arm that's carrying that kettlebell right now, the right one, is where my leg's going up. So it helps me kind of stay a bit more square to the floor as I do this. So I think this kettlebell, I believe, is about 35 pounds, which is, I think it's a decent amount of weight for one leg deadlifts. And the last exercise. So I think that's the great part about, owning a kettlebell. You don't need to own a whole bunch. When I lived in BC, I owned 2, and I was able to do, almost every single thing I wanted to do regarding a kettlebell exercise, just owning 2 kettlebells. And here's another one. Most people kind of normally do regular lunges, but they don't do side lunges very often. So I'm just going side to side. There's options of where you can come up and then go down, or you can go one side at a time. I always found this a lot harder than doing regular lunges, but again, just another way that you can have a little bit of variety, get stronger legs, and feel more balanced and stable and strong when you're on the squash court. And then last exercise here is actually just showing you, if you only had a really light kettlebell, so this kind of, could be dangerous, so you have to be careful, and you want to make something more challenging, it's just actually doing some of the exercises, holding the kettlebell upside down, and it really makes you engage your balance and your strength in your forearm. But obviously, if you're doing something like this or a get up and you're using a heavy kettlebell, you got to be careful that it doesn't slip and fall. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for some new updates.